One, communication is critical.
Aye.
Communication is critical. Now, I have exactly 3 things to say about that, then I'll turn it over.
Of course.
Number 1, to this day, we've been together now for almost 8 years, and except for that 3.5 months when I had to go back to the United States, we've been inseparable for 24 hours a day, virtually, correct? To this day, however, talking is our most cherished form of intimacy, and we do not take that lightly.
Yep.
Our most cherished form of intimacy is conversation. That is a critical reality for building a successful, life-changing business and a storybook romance. Now, can I explain that for a second? If you don't know our story well, the first 3-4 months of our relationship was spent satellite. Carrie lived in Montreal, I lived in Chicago. Guess what we had? We had Messenger and Skype.
That's right.
That's what we had, which meant communication had to be with words. It couldn't be with touch. It couldn't be with gifts. It couldn't be with looks or glances. We had to use our words. We had to tell how we felt. We had to convey emotion and real through a phone or through a Skype computer without the benefit of anything else that most relationships have. And we learned then and mastered it in those 3.5 months that I was gone, that communication matters above everything else. And to this day, it's our most cherished form of intimacy. Now, can I just finalize my point? You might be thinking right now, what's that got to do with business?
Oh my God, everything.
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 Talk to your fucking customers. Talk to your clients. Talk to your staff. Talk to your prospects. If I see one more business guru put on Facebook advertisements for learn how to get more leads with this tried and tested funnel ninja, I'm going to shit my pants. I'm going to absolutely go postal. Every entrepreneur in the world, every one of them, gets so excited about leads. Leads. How do I get more people watching my stuff? How do I get more people reading my stuff? How do I get more prospects lined up in the funnel? Can I tell you why that's really not important? Okay, I grew up in Canada. If you get excited to go play a little ice hockey one day, I mean you're really jazzed up. This is your passion. You pack your bag, your hockey gear, you put it in the trunk, you drive an hour to get to the rink, you get there and you forgot your hockey skates. That's the equivalent. You are so excited to get people lined up for your shit, you forgot that you have shit. You don't spend time on message, on talking. We spend 5 hours for free every single week on this. With no expectation of return on investment. No idea that, hey, you should join us for this and pay us money. When there's opportunities that come up, like BCAP programs and Clubhouse, we tell you. We don't drive you into a sales funnel. We don't push you to sales pages unless you put your hand up and say, I'd like to know more. And then we send you to where the information is. But our job is to talk to you. Our job is to convey emotion to you. Our job is to light you up and inspire you to go into the world and do epic shit. And we've never lost sight of that job. For our viewers, our prospects, and our customers. And yes, I'm breaking my own arm, patting myself on the back, because I think we do it as well or better than anybody.
I completely agree. And I'm going to add a whole bunch, but I just want to say hi to Yanta Panda.
Oh, shit.
She's in the house.
Panda's here!
I also love the Elisa Panda Bear icon. Just to welcome Mike. Okay. This is like a big one for me. And that's why Brian said, I'm going to say 3 things and hand it over to you. Because I think communication is one of like the most, like it is the most essential thing in every relationship. And like, here's the thing, okay? Everybody says that. Here we go again. Carrie and Brian are saying, stop preaching the rhetoric and actually start living by it. So that's not something you've heard us say. You know, I mean, that is something you've heard us say before, right? Communication is actually one of our core values inside of our business.
It is.
That we teach and we
Communication's
practice,
king.
right? You know, but like I want to talk about why communication, not why, but what's the difference between communication and purposeful communication?
Well said.
Because I think that, you know, so many people will be so quick to say, oh, I talk to my staff all the time. Or I talk to my husband all the time. We're always talking.
Yes.
But like, is it purposeful communication? I'm not saying like you're not going to talk about the basics, right? But we're not talking communication. Okay, so what time are you leaving for work today? And do you want me to be the one to pick up the kids on the way home? That's planning. That's not communication, right? So when we're talking about communication, we're talking about the deeper layer, not the superficiality of it, right?
Right.
And here's one of the things that I just jotted down while Brian was talking. If you are not communicating, here's what you're doing. You are assuming, you are interpreting, and you are living in isolation. Well, and let me explain what I mean by that. And this applies to both business and relationships, but I'm going to start with it from a relationship standpoint, okay? Yep. The number of times that I have been coaching couples, because I do coach couples, and when I coach couples, the way that that works is I have one call a week with the two of them, and a call a week with each one of them individually, right? So I get both sides of the story. Yeah. And the number of times I've had one partner in the relationship say to me, so X, or he said this, and I went into bound nature because how could he be so hurtful? Yep. To which my immediate thought was, are you really sure that that's what he meant? Or is that the way that you're interpreting it? And that person had spent 6 hours musing on what he had said 6 hours ago that was so clearly hurtful and that was intended to hurt that person. And then that person's left in isolation. Sure. So they've made an assumption and interpreted, and now they're isolated within that, right?
100%, yes.
When we dive into the realms of purposeful communication, we are able to stop and say things like, you know what? You just said this, and it really hurt me, but here's why, because this is how I interpreted it. What do you mean? Yep. Right? That's just a small example. Sure. But when you're talking with your staff, like I just had a great conversation with Justin, our handsome COO.
Oh, he's so handsome.
About really some business, but other stuff that had nothing to do with business. Right. Do you really know the people who you work with? Are you asking the hard questions? What can I do for you? What can I do better as an employee, right? That is what communication is for me. It's meat and potatoes. It's not, the outside layer.
By the way, can I tell you who aligns with everything we just said? For any marketer out there who's like, oh, these guys. How about Joe Polish?
Of course.
Joe Polish, who's the #1 marketer and perhaps one of the most skilled business people on the planet.
Amazing at
has told us more than once, personally, privately, and in front of 1,000 people. I've seen him on stage. That Genius Network, which is his massive success, it's just an amazing process. It was built off of what he calls reciprocity. He talked to people and asked them what he could do for them. Yep. And then when he felt there was a right fit, he asked them, hey guys, I'd love you to consider coming to this program, but you tell me if it sounds good. I'm here to answer all your questions. By the way, that's exactly what we do. Yep. I think Krista Mahone-Johnson should be in BCAP. I think Michael Hedke should be in BCAP. I think Tanny Christina should be in BCAP. I think everybody should be in the clubhouse. But what we do is say, hey guys, this is what we want you to consider. And if you have any questions, let us know, and maybe we'll direct you to somebody or a website you can read. Yep. Right? That's I don't hound people. I don't get funnels in my process or prospects in my funnel and start to upsell. We just do a good job every single day, and hey, this is what you should do.
Absolutely.
Just like Joe Polish.
Yeah. And let me add to that with regards to culture that's created in your relationships and in your life when you opt to make communication of importance, right? Yeah. So perfect example. I'm glad you brought up Joe and Genius Network. I needed some help with something in Facebook land. The other day. Yeah. And well, it's actually been for a month and a half now. I've needed this help. And it just dawned on me yesterday, or 2 days ago, I should post on the Genius Network board and ask for help. And so I posted on the board, and within minutes, somebody had responded and saying, hey there, how can I help you? And 2 minutes later, gave me the answer to my question. Exactly. Without asking for anything in return. Right. Just the reciprocity of the culture that has been created around the communication and that relationship build. Agreed. And it's the same thing. Look, what you give out is what you're going to receive, and that's common speak, right? But don't underestimate the culture of what you're creating when you opt to make communication a priority.
100%. You guys digging this so far? I want a sea of hearts. I want a sea of hearts. I want to see that, because we have 6 more. So we have to be a little less verbose maybe as we go down. But do you see the power of all this stuff?